Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Naveen Kaushik from the placement cell of MIET group that is currently working in Merit Institute of Technology as an industrial relation officer. On behalf of MIT Merit, I extend a hearty welcome to everyone, all the attendees, and our speaker, Mr. OJASV JAIN. This webinar, this is the first series of this Alumni Connect series. This is the first event which is going to be conducted today. And these type of sessions will be continuing in near few months. This event is the first of many sessions which we have lined up to enlighten our students and to help with the dilemma that most of us have in our mind. That's what should we do after graduation. Uh, it's a great honor to all of us that today we have Mr. OJASV JAIN. He is a alumni of Merit Institute of Technology from the 2014 batch from the Computer Science and Engineering. He has been associated with HCL. After that, HCL, he joined TCS, and now he has come up with his own startup that is Dream India Enterprises. I will not take much time. I would like to introduce Mr. OJASV JAIN. Mr. OJASV JAIN will be continuing this session for next 40 to 45 minutes, and you can clarify your doubts after listening the complete session. Definitely, you will be having something in your mind about what you should do after graduation. Mr. OJASV JAIN, please continue the session.
Thank you so much, Naveen sir, for that lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. Like Naveen sir introduced, my name is OJASV, and I am an alma mater from MIT. Right? It's a great honor and privilege to talk to all of you people who are part of my alma mater, and I'm happy that we can connect on such a beautiful topic. That is what after graduation. I know all of us, like Naveen sir also said, we have a lot of questions in our mind while graduating on what to do next, right? So I have been where you are, and I hope that while I share whatever I have to share today, you can relate to what we went through, right, together. Because I have been the part of MIT as well as the graduating session of the colleges and everything, right? So I hope whatever I tell you, we can relate to each other, and it will help you in building your careers further. Before I start, I would just like to share one thought that I will be talking specifically about entrepreneurship. I would not be speaking about job and any other stuff related to traditional passing out parade. So I have nothing against anything or anything that you want to do. It's a job. It can be anything else. I have nothing against it. I respect all professions, but today I'll be focusing my efforts on entrepreneurship. With that being said, I'll start my presentation. So let me know when you guys are able to see the screen. I hope my screen is visible to all of you, right? Like I said, what after graduation? If I have to put it in another way, I would ask you a question: done with BTech, now what? Because this is a question that came to my mind when I was graduating as well, right? So I'll share my journey with you guys. And with that journey being started in 2010, when I started my graduation journey from MIT, that 2010 was my first year, and I passed out in 2014. When I graduated as a computer science engineer with the 2 jobs in hand. One of them was campus placement, another one was an off-campus pool drive that happened in Panipat Institute of Engineering and Technology. So if I have to talk about that particular drive, it was more than 20,000 students that appeared for that drive. And out of that, only 97 students were selected. That is 0.5 or less percentage of success rate. And that's how life is. We all have been born and brought up with a lot of dreams in our mind. And if you look at the initial days of our life, there have been a lot of dreams that, I want to become an astronaut. I want to become something else. I want to become a prime minister or something like that. But as we grow up, we realize that there are a lot of traditional things that we need to focus our efforts on. And just like most of us, I was pushed into BTech without much of a thought of a future. I had not realized what the future entailed for me if I opted for B.Tech. So I did my 12th, like every one of my friends was selecting as the PCM as a branch. I selected that. Then most of us were going to engineering, so I selected that myself. And since most of the jobs are into computer science and IT background, I selected computer science. There was no much thought given to why I'm doing computer science engineering, whether I have interest, whether this is something that I like to do, love to do or not. My one message to you guys is do what you love what you do. If you can find this combination, there's nothing better than this that can happen to you. And excellence is something that you will automatically achieve in that field, and success will be at your feet, right? So once I got into job, I had a very successful career with HCL Technologies. That was my first job. I joined in October 2014. Within 6 months of started working as a critical incident manager, I was added another responsibility to my portfolio, that was problem management. They were happy with my performance and they added another responsibility. And 1 year after that, that is total experience of 1.5 years, I was promoted as a team lead and a manager. That was the youngest manager promotion in history of HCL. Right? They also did a case study on my growth, so that anyone and everyone who joins in as a fresher, they can see what kind of growth a fresher can get. But that was an exceptional growth, I would say. And also, I have worked for 5 years in total with HCL, wherein I got 6 promotions. That is unprecedented. That usually do not happen. Promotion is expected every 2 years or 3 years, but I got 6 promotion in 5 years. I have been promoted more than once in a year. That was because I have a hunger, or rather, I should say, at that time, I had a different sort of hunger for success. I'll talk about it why that happened with me. And along with those 5 years, I also got an opportunity to travel on site for a short assignment. After which, I was deployed to another project which had some stabilization issues. It was not stable. There were a lot of escalations, and then I was put into that place to stabilize that project. Once I did, I spent 1 year there because 6 months it took to stabilize that project, and after 6 months, I left HCL. I joined in TCS, and it has been more than 1 year that I joined TCS. And I also started one of my startups along with my job, right? So that is something that I really am happy about. And I can tell you the difference between all three stages of my life. That is what happened to me during graduation, just after graduation, what happened to me during job, and what I have been doing as an entrepreneur, right? So I started 2 years back with almost nothing, and I am still establishing my organization, and I'm growing it every day. And I hope many of you can join hands with me as an entrepreneur, and we can create a different kind of India. That is why the name Dream India Enterprise. Moving further, I would like to ask you guys, what is success? There is a different definition of success to everyone. For me, it can be different. For you, it can be different, right? But I can share what it was through different stages of my life. When I was in engineering, I was studying. Till first and second year, it was all about graduating. That was success, right? Once I was in third year and fourth year, it was all about getting a job. That's all success was for me at that time. When I got into job, I realized that it is all about making money, making a lifestyle, and getting promoted. Why getting promoted? Because it is directly proportional to your money. I know we all have been brought up in a way that we are told money is root of all evils. Don't run behind the money. But as and when we grow up, we realize that every one of us is running behind money, right? And when I went into entrepreneurship, I realized that there is a difference between a life of significance and a life of success. So what is mentioned over here in job, that you have money, you have a lifestyle, you're being promoted, and you are getting appreciated all across, that is a life of success. But when you can help others live better life, that is the life of significance, and obviously making huge money along with it. That is something that really attracted me towards entrepreneurship. If I talk about myself, I have been searching for something or other since 2011. So you can realize that from second year of my BTech, I have been searching for to do one or the other business, because I realized that this is something that I want in my life, right? Moving forward, we realize that there are different types of tests that we have to go through in life. While in engineering, it can be a little funny as well, but while in engineering, it was all about sessionals, PUTs, internals, vivas, and all that. Right? I'm pretty sure you guys are going through the same, and there may be something that you hate about them as well. So did I. But this is how the process of education is. Right? While in job, it was all about giving interviews for new roles and responsibilities, for new jobs, getting certified about the stuff or all the skills that you have gathered in your experience, and definitely every year of it. Again, it is related to money. Then when I got into entrepreneurship, I realized that the test of life would be failures. You would definitely fail. We should not be afraid of failures. You would get rejections. There would be days when there will be no sale, right? And you would think about it, go back and think about it, that why did I start it? Nothing is happening, nothing is going forward. But then you understand why you started it, the dream behind it, the ambition behind it, and then you give it again a full throttle. There would be negative feedbacks and there would definitely be iterations. Every company that has flourished today has faced all these challenges. If you go to any company HR and ask them what is the biggest challenge that they have, it is iteration. Why? Because they select 10 candidates to join their organization, out of which 2 join, and out of which one of them leaves in 3 months. That is the challenge that every organization faces today, right? And the only reason is because we don't know what we have to do when we graduate. Because once I completed my BTech, I was asking myself, now I need to think about what I want to do in life, right? Till then, we just go with the flow and we don't realize what we want to do. But then we need to understand the achievement process on different stages as well. While you're studying, the achievement process is more towards study hard, perform well, and get good marks. I may use a little bit Hindi in between so that we are all able to relate it better. But this is how it is. When you are in job, you will realize that working hard, exceeding your KRAs, and getting promoted is the achievement process, right? But I'll tell you what, whoever I've seen, including myself, when I have been seeing myself in getting good marks, good education, good job, successful life, ये सब लोग सुबह से शाम तक बस, चार्टेड buses, इन सब के धक्के खाते रहते हैं, right? Sorry to use that language, but that is what it is. We all see the life of people who are around us, who are working somewhere, and they all go to via cab, via buses or something. They only go, the majority time that they spend in their day apart from office is commute. That is something that I did not want for myself. So when I went into entrepreneurship, I realized the achievement processes from moving, that is moving from one failure to another without losing enthusiasm. In our education system, in our upbringing, we are all told that failure is something that we all should be afraid of. If you fail at something, you are looked down in the society. That is something that I realize is not true when it comes to entrepreneurship, and that is how we should live our lives as well. If you fail, that's not an issue, but you need to learn from that failure and go ahead. So if you're moving 1 kilometer and your car broke down, then you need to fix the car and again go forward. You may be able to go to next 10 kilometers. Again, some issue might come up in your car. Then you fix it again and go another 100 kilometers. And that's how the journey of any success is. You go through failures after failures after failures until you achieve that success. The only people who are successful are people who never gave up, right? Keep that in mind. They are failures of life. The people who are successful, they failed a lot of times. It is just that they did not give up. If you don't give up on something, you will be successful at one point in your life. Just remember that, right? Now let's understand today's market situation. We all know that there are less jobs available in market today. There may be a lot of situations around it. There are a lot of topics that we can discuss on, that is unemployment, underemployment, and definitely the COVID situation that has happened just now, right? So jobs have always been less in the market as per the number of graduates that we have every year. But there is no way that it is possible that there will be no job available. If you want to do job for the rest of your life, go for it and give it all you have, right? That's when you will be able to be successful in job. If you don't want to do job for the rest of your life, figure out what you want to do. and focus your efforts, focus your energy over there. What we should all think about is COVID situation is something that can happen at any point in time. This happened these days. I mean, in 2020, it could have happened earlier as well, and it can happen in future itself. So there is no certainty of life. Hence, we need to think about things that we can have a secure form of future. It may be job for some, it may be something else for some. I am not going to debate on which one is better, but I know what it is for me. It can be different for you. You need to understand that forced entrepreneurship is the new trend. If What do I mean by forced entrepreneurship is, suppose there is a scenario wherein you have hundreds of people who are graduated and you have only 10 jobs available. What would be the rest 90 people do? They would do something of their own. They would have no other option. That is what forced entrepreneurship is. It may be forced entrepreneurship or it may be forced self-employment. If we have to talk about self-employment, I can tell you it is someone who has given themselves a job. For example, a lawyer, doctor, CA who's doing their own practice, a freelancer, they are working for themselves, but at the end of the day, they are doing a job in a way, right? A shopkeeper, a restaurant owner, cafe owner. These all are people who are self-employed, right? Moving forward is what is the next generation business trend? That is e-commerce and social selling. We all know that Facebook came into picture somewhere around 10 to 20, 15 years back. And we all know the worth of Facebook today is $48 billion. How did that happen so soon? Because of e-commerce, because of social selling. That is the new generation business. So we all are from technical backgrounds, I hope, and we can focus our energy over there and we can create opportunities big time. It's not just for us, it can be for others as well. For example, I have a team of around 100 people. I am creating opportunities from them. Maybe I'm helping them live better lives. That is what I mean by creating opportunities. So you can do that as well, provided we have what it takes to become an entrepreneur. I'll talk about that. Why entrepreneurship is something that is a very vast subject, but I would like to quickly cover it up. How I'll cover it up is by what is expected out of a graduation. So I'm pretty sure the studies that we are doing today, it is all about getting a job, getting a package, handsome salary, and making money. Everything that we do in life, the central idea behind it is to make money. But it's not just about money. These are the three things that we focus in our life. First is definitely money. If I have to say something in Hindi for that is पैसा खुदाई नहीं है, but खुदाई से कम भी नहीं है. There are a lot of problems that can be solved with money. Not every problem, but a lot of them. Right? Then we also look for time. Why time? Because we want to spend time with our family, with our loved ones. It is not going to be a healthy life if I work for 20 hours a day and sleep for 4. There is no room for any family. There's no room for any enjoyment in my life. Right? But we need time as per our need. If I remember my initial corporate days, I was not allowed to go home for Diwali for the first 2 years. Why? Because I was not master of my own time, right? And security is when you are not worried about where the income is going to come from tomorrow, or maybe a month after today, or maybe a year after today, right? So let's see the three scenarios that we have discussed so far. One is job. In job, you get some money, you get some time, but there is no security. We have seen that more than 3 million people have been laid off due to this COVID situation. Similar situation happened in 2008 when there was a recession, right? So money is something that is not up to the mark in job. You will always think that I'm working for 30 lakh rupees, but I'm getting only 20 lakh. That's how jobs are. That's how they're designed. Similarly, for time, like I told you, you won't be able to take a leave according to you. Unless the business agrees with it, the company agrees with it that it's okay for you to take a leave and there will be no business disruption at that time, then only you can take a leave. I have seen people with more than 25 years of experience have been denied leave for their kids graduation ceremony as well, because the business was needing their time at that time in office. So that is what the situation is, and I did not want that situation for me in job. Now coming to self-employment, like I already discussed, that it is someone who has given themselves a job. There can be money or there can be time. There cannot be both. Why? If you have to get money from your own establishment, then you have to work very hard. You may have to work 12 to 15 hours a day. If that is the case, you don't have time. And if you're not working at all, you won't be making any money. So you cannot have both in self-employment. Security is definitely not there because it is a single point of failure. I'll give you an example. There was a doctor who was taking lakhs of rupees for single operation, and he used to do 5 to 6 operations in a month. That by that logic, it was 5 to 6 lakh rupees every month of his income. He was seeing off his daughter uh, in car, and unfortunately, his right hand came into the door of the car, and his pinky finger of right hand got destroyed. I mean, he was not able to hold that scalpel and operate further. So his income of 5 to 6 lakh rupees went down to zero in a fraction of seconds. That is the kind of insecurity that we have in self-employment. Right? Coming to businesses or entrepreneurship, here you can be a master of your time, money, and security. You can take any example today. We took an example of Facebook. You can take an example of Microsoft. You can take an example of Warren Buffett. You can take an example of Mukesh Ambani. You can also take an example of Tata's or anyone else, right? Big shots, big brands. They are all people who don't have to worry about their money. If today Mr. Ambani wants to take a leave for 2 years, he would not think twice that where the money will come from. He know he'll make billions of dollars even if he's on leave, right? Time, again, if he can take a leave and don't get his income affected, he has the mastery of his time. He can spend whatever time he wants with whomever he wants to. And security is definitely there because he has an organization where there are thousands and lakhs of people working for him, and he don't have to worry about anything himself. Definitely, if he has to expand, he will go further, he will invest his time, and he will create plans and implement them. But if he has to just enjoy the money that he's making today, he will have to sit back, relax, and let people do what they already do. Right? With that being said, we need to understand, since we have been talking about money a lot, we need to understand there are different types of income available in the world. And according to me, every parent should tell it to their kids by the time they turn 18. Unfortunately, most of the parents themselves do not know the different types of income that we have in the world. So the different types of income are active income and passive income. I'm not sure if most of you have heard about it, if there is something that you know or not, but these are the two types of income that we have in the world. And we should all know it at least so that we can make a decision for ourselves which side we want to be in, right? Talking about active income. Active income is something wherein your income is directly dependent on you. If you work, you get money. If you don't work, you don't get money. For example, I was doing a job. If I had to take a leave of 6 months, I would not be paid for it. But if I have an established organization and I want to take a leave for 6 months, I can very well go on a vacation and still make the money. So active income is you get money till you work. It is dependent totally on you. Same is the case for self-employment as well. But passive income is wherein you create a system and that system generates money for you. So Reliance Industries is a system that was developed by Dhirubhai Ambani. Reliance Jio is a system that is developed by Mukesh Ambani, and that system is giving them money. Their income is passive in nature. Their income is not dependent on them. So when the system is running independently of you, that is when your income becomes passive in nature. And you can enjoy the combination of money, time, and security. So this is something that was shocking for me because I was not aware of something like this unless I jumped into the entrepreneurship world, that there are two different types of income. I was only aware about an income that you work and you get money. Now I'm pretty sure most of you have also been the same, but today I can tell you with all the guarantees in the world that these are the two types of income, and you need to understand where you are or where your future is going along with where you want to be, right? So for me, I had active income in my life. I was going to make more active income in my life, but I wanted a passive nature of income as well. That is something that I have been working for last 2 years. Now, are you building any assets as and when you are graduating, as and when you're doing a job or something else? That is a very important thing to understand. For example, I am doing a job and there is no assets that I'm building. It does not have to be a property, it can be anything else. Let's take an example first to understand what are assets and liabilities. I'm pretty sure if someone is from commerce background, they would know about it. But I'll tell you in a very layman term, anything that is putting money into your pocket is an asset. Anything that is taking money out of your pocket is a liability. It may be a necessary liability, but it is still a liability. For example, you have a house that is your own and you're living in it, it's a liability. If you have a house that you have put it on rent, that's an asset, provided your EMI is less than the rent that you're making. Now, people have always come to me and told me that, a house is always an asset, because if I have bought a house for 1 crore rupees today, I can easily go and sell it again in next 5 years with 1.5 crore rupees. Yes, that is true. That will give you one-time profit. But in that process, you have dissolved your asset as well. When I'm talking about assets, I'm talking about recurring cash flow from an asset. For example, for Reliance Industries, for Reliance Jio, can you even imagine what an asset would be? For an entrepreneur, for a businessman, the biggest asset that they have is the people that they're working with, is the people who are working for them. If I'm an employee, I'm an asset for the organization that I'm working for, provided I'm performing. If I'm not performing, they'll kick me out. Similarly, people are the biggest asset. Why? Because entrepreneurs believe in that you build the people and people will build your business. That is the concept that every entrepreneur focuses on. Definitely they buy properties, definitely they invest in other ventures, but initially their only asset that they have is people. Now, what entrepreneurs do, they put their initial time investment, they put their money, and they create assets. What happens when they create assets? They get recurring cash flows, their income becomes independent of their effort, and they get secure form of income. This is something that was really exciting for me, and it still is, because I'm working for myself, I'm building assets, and I'm also having passive sources of income. Now, the biggest question to all of you: money formula. I'm pretty sure that most of the people on this particular forum would not know that there is a formula for making money, and it does not have to be students only. So it was surprising for me that there is a mathematical formula to make money, and I'm pretty sure that most of you don't know it. So I'll quickly share it with you. Money is equal to rate multiplied by time. Now, what's a rate? Rate is just like you have rate for aloo pyaz. Every individual has a rate. It may be also referred to as per hour rate. For example, if someone is just done their schooling, they have not graduated from any college or something, and they are doing a job, their rate would be less. They will be paid less per hour. Someone is making 10 rupees per hour, someone is making $10 per hour. It depends. What does it depend on? The one thing is your education, another one is your experience. Generally in our society, people invest their money and time in education till they are 20, 22 to 25 years of age. After that, they focus on increasing their experience. If someone has for example, someone has zero experience and they have gone to a job, they have gone to a company for a job, their rate would be the least compared to all other graduates. If I have 6 years of experience, I may have better package available because my experience is more and my rate is more. If you have 10 years of experience, your rate would be even higher, but it is limited. Why? Because you cannot keep on going to college and make money. You will have to put that education to use somewhere. You'll have to implement that knowledge, and then only you'll make money. Similarly, your experience is also limited. Why? If you're 25 years of age, You cannot have 30 years of experience. If you're 50 years of age, you cannot have 55 years of experience. It will always be limited. Similarly, time is also limited. Why? It is only 24 hours available with everyone, and out of which mostly 10 hours are productive. After that, you spend 14 hours in your day in daily chores, sleeping, eating, drinking, and all that. But I am a good mathematician, if you all must know, and I know everything about maths. That's a joke. Because I know at least that if I multiply two limited entities, the product of them will always be limited. That is why my money will always be limited. Now, let's consider a scenario where I want to make my money unlimited. Either rate or time, at least I have to increase or make unlimited or grow exponentially. According to you, where should we focus our efforts on? Increasing what? Rate or time? I'm pretty sure most of you will think about rate, increasing your rate, because that's what our entire education system focuses on. But unfortunately, in the history of mankind, no one has been able to make their rate unlimited. People have made out the ways to increase their time up to an unlimited capacity. I know it must be surprising, but if I tell you that I know people who are working 1 lakh hours every day, you wouldn't believe me. But I can tell you with a small example. Let's take a scenario wherein there is an employee who works 10 hours a day. Every day he works for 10 hours, and for 25 days in a month, that is 250 hours in a month. In a year, that will be 3000 hours. And in a lifetime of 40 years, for example, he started working at the age of 20, worked till he is 60, that will be 40 years of his life. He will be able to work only 1,20,000 hours. Why I'm showing it to you? It's just because if you are playing a one-day match, you need to know how many balls you have to score. I have 300 balls in a 50 overs match. I have maybe 1200 balls, 120 balls in a T20 match. Similarly, what amount of hours you have to work to make money in your life, that is what you need to calculate from what your age today till when you will work. Now let's take a different scenario wherein there is an organization of 300 people only. It's a small organization, definitely. Now everyone is working 10 hours a day. So in a day, that company is working for 3000 hours. Now that company is working as a whole, but the owner of that company, for him, the work is being done is equal to 3000 hours every day. In a month, it would be 75,000 hours, and in a year, it will be close to 9 lakh hours. Now, what will happen in that scenario is, whatever you and I will make as an individual in our entire life, a small organization of only 300 people will get that done in 45 days. This concept is called as time multiplication. I'm pretty sure no one talks about it in our education, but this is something that we need to understand from whatever we have. Can we multiply our time? Whatever I'm doing, am I building assets? Whatever I'm doing, is it going to give me passive nature of income? Yes or no? Then we need to decide whether I want to be in it or not. Going to another example of time multiplication, it can be with multiple ways, right? So McDonald's did it in another way. We all know McDonald's is a franchise for fast food, burger joint. But if you look at the business model, what they do is they franchise. Today in the world, they have approximately 40,000 franchises all across the globe. Let's assume that all the franchises open just for 10 hours every day. That is up to 4 lakh hours every day is being worked for McDonald's as a parent company. Let's assume one outlet makes only 1,000 rupees of profit. We know it is more than 10,000 rupees every day, but let us assume it's only 1,000 rupees per day profit at every outlet. It will be 4 crore rupees of income every day for the parent company of McDonald's that is owned by Ray Kroc, who is no longer in this world, but his next generation and generation after that will keep on enjoying that money. That is the power of time multiplication. I know this term, this number here mentioned here may seem unrealistic, but it is true. The income of McDonald's is much more than that per day. That is because he's multiplying his time. That is something that you can also do, but there has to be some idea behind it, some thought behind it. Now, You guys need to read a lot of books to get yourself that knowledge, because it won't be taught in a traditional education system. Even if you're doing an economics honors, even then you won't be able to find these things in an education world. It can be taught over different books. I'll tell you what all books you can read, but before that I'll share a small example with you from one of the books that is one of my personal favorites, that is Rich Dad Poor Dad. And it talks about cash flow quadrant, which means the author's name is Robert P. Kiyosaki. Mr. Kiyosaki says there are 4 ways to make money in the world. One is employment, that we all know we are working for. After BTech, we'll get a job that will be having an employment. Second is business. When I talk about a business, it is when you have at least 500 people of a team. You even if you take a vacation for 6 months, your income will not go down. Self-employment, we have already discussed what it is. And then investors. Now, if we talk about investors, it's not the simple SIP or mutual fund investment that we do every month. It is towards someone who is making lakhs of rupees from only investment, like Warren Buffett. It can be into stock market, it can be into venture capitalism, it can be real estate investment, and so on. Now let's see a funny side of it. Left hand side people, employees and self-employed, are engaged in active income, which means they work, they get money, they don't work, they don't get money. Right hand side people work for passive income. Even if they don't work, they'll keep on making the money. The left hand side people are 95% population in the world today. That can be easily observed. How many people you know around you who are actually having a business, who are actually investors, who are making money even if they're not working? There would be only a handful of people. But majority of people would be engaged in active income, either employees or self-employees. Only 5% of people are engaged in passive income. Now, it will be surprising, shocking, and funny at the same time that the right hand side chunk of the people, the minority of the people, enjoys 99% of the money in the world. And left hand side survives with only 1%. As a student, I'm not sure if you will relate to it, but if you give 2 to 3 years to your job or something in your earning, you will realize that this is true. And maybe if some of our faculties are here, then they will also relate to it, that it is true. The funny part is that if we decide, for example, we collect all the money together, we distribute it evenly all across the globe, after 5 years, the situation will be back to the same. The right hand side will be back to controlling 99% of the money. The left hand side would be again surviving in 1%. The only reason is because they know how to create passive income. They know how to build assets. They know how to multiply their time, and they know how to utilize this cash flow quadrant. They don't want people from left hand side to come to right hand side to share their money. And that is what we need to understand, which side we want to be, the left hand side or the right hand side. Now, what is required to start your own business or an entrepreneurship situation, or a company or startup, whatever you want to do? The first thing that you want is a unique idea. It may have be unique, but it has to be something that you can do. Then you need domain expertise for it. You need capital investment, and you need working capital as well. These are the 4 things that are prerequisite of starting any company. What I was struggling from 2011 was the bottom 2. I had many ideas. I had some expertise in that domain as well, but I had no investment capital and very less working capital. That is something that was stopping me from doing something. Now, investment capital is a little different when it comes to business world. At least it has to be more than 50 lakh rupees when we are talking about investing something. Otherwise, we'll be engaged in something of a self-employment perspective only. If I talk about investing 20 lakh rupees, I'm pretty sure that we won't be able to open even a good retail shop of some or the other brand, right? Now we have to understand what all we have in these 4 parameters, so that we can step into our entrepreneurship journey. I wouldn't say that you should have all of them or any of them, but if you have a zeal to become an entrepreneur, there are a lot of things available in the market that you can do. If you need help, you can also reach out to me as well. But these are prerequisites of starting an entrepreneurship journey. You need to understand which one you have and which one you want from someone else. Investment is something that you can get venture capitalists to invest in your idea, provided your idea is that good. Most of the people that I meet, they don't have an idea, they don't have the domain expertise, they don't have investment capital, they may have some working capital. If that is the case, I'm not sure whether it will work out for you or not, but your hunger for success, your hunger for creating an entrepreneurship journey for yourself will decide whether it will work for you or not. Moving on, these are the things that we need to understand. There are different mindsets. Entrepreneurship mindset is called as growth mindset. Employee mindset is called as fixed mindset. You can read on the screen what's mentioned over here. So for an entrepreneur, like I mentioned in the earlier part of this presentation itself, failure is always an opportunity to grow. If you are from fixed mindset perspective, failure is the limit of your abilities. No one should be able to tell you that what your abilities have a limit to. You should always have a failure and grow further. Have a failure, grow further, and so on. If you want to grow and have a growing mindset, you need to have acceptance towards challenges. You need to determine your attitude and effort, and that will not determine, that will define your abilities, not the other way around. You also need to take feedback in a constructive manner, and you should be open to new things. Here, you can take a screenshot if you want, but the books mentioned here would help you in establishing your entrepreneurship journey, in starting your entrepreneurship journey. These are the things that will help you develop an entrepreneurship mindset. So you can take a screenshot, or you can also reach out to me if you need any help. Going forward, I'll quickly sum up about my company. It was established in August 2018. I have a team of approximately 100 people. I have helped 10 new people so far to become entrepreneur, to have their entrepreneurship journey started. And you can visit my website, www.dreamindiaenterprise.wordpress.com. If you need any help, if you have any questions, please let me know. I am open to answering any questions. I'll open the chat box quickly so that you guys can ask your questions. Okay, let me open the chat box. Let me first stop sharing. Yes. Please ask your questions if you have any in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. OJASV. It was an extremely enlightening session. I see there is only one question which is out of context, but if you can throw some light. A student wants to know about how to pursue UPSC preparation post-graduation.
I would simply recommend that there are a lot of courses available. You should always use technology to your best advantage. That would be use Google, use a lot of people who are already passed out from that particular field that you want to be in. Ask them to share their experiences, what the mistakes that they did, so that you don't repeat those mistakes yourself. Don't just learn from someone else's mistake, learn from their experience as well. I won't be able to comment further on UPSC side because that's not my forte, and I haven't tried my hands on UPSC, so I wouldn't be the right person to ask it. But definitely, if you have someone or some questions related to entrepreneurship, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Okay, one more question which I think every graduate will like to know is that, for example, you are a recruiter and you are asked to hire a candidate. What are the things currently in the current market scenario you will be looking at in a candidate if you are hiring?
My focus would be towards attitude of the candidate, right? Skill is something that I'll be more than happy to teach. Most of the companies provide you induction, trainings, and all that before you join an organization as a fresher. So try to develop a learning attitude, try to enhance your communication skills, try to develop soft skills along with the domain expertise that you have. If you have the combination of soft skills and the technical skills, you would go very far. If there is only one, you will grow, but it will be stagnant at some point in time, maybe 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line. You won't be seeing growth for yourself. You need both soft skills and technical skills to grow in the industry, whatever it may be. It may be related to manufacturing, it may be related to IT, it may be related to mechanical or electronics, whatever it is. You need both soft skills as well as technical skills.
But
That's
when
what
we
I
when
would
we
look
talk
for
of
in a candidate.
when we talk of sorry to interrupt you, but when we talk of soft skills, uh, there's a lot of confusion. People kind of confuse soft skills with kind of personality development and everything. So if you can point out on the soft skills you are talking about.
So definitely personality is a part of it, but everyone has a different personality and no one is biased towards someone's personality. But soft skill is majorly towards language command. You should English is a globally accepted language. That is something that you should have a command on. If you have a difficulty speaking in English or writing in English, I would highly recommend watch English TV shows or maybe English movies. That will help you a lot, not just English news, because that is a traditional way of learning English and I don't want you to learn a bookish English. I want you to be able to understand the jargons that are used in corporate world every day. You will be able to get a help from all the corporate shows that you have, right? If you want, there are many shows that you can watch, like Suits is one of the shows that is my favorite. It is related to a corporate law firm and it uses a lot of jargons that you can use when you join a corporate, and that will help you a lot in your interviews as well. Confidence is another soft skill that you need to have, and confidence only comes from knowledge. If you have a lack of knowledge in something, you won't be confident about it. But if you're having a knowledge, you will be definitely confident about it. So that's what I look for in a candidate if I have to talk about it.
Now you are a student of MIT, and now you are in the industry. As an alumni, as a proud alumni, what are the suggestions you would like to give us now that we should try to bring in MIT? If you recall your experience in the MIT.
uh, I would recommend have practical sessions as well. I would recommend have visiting faculties from industry, right? For example, if I should recommend to start an entrepreneurship subject into your everyday to day curriculum, invite faculties from that area. If you are willing to teach people about economics, because economics is a subject that we have in our curriculum, it would be very helpful to have at least one session from someone who is in the economy sector of the society, so that people can learn, the students can learn from the practical background as well. That is something that I would highly recommend.
मैं म्यूट करता हूँ तो नॉइज आती है.
I can see there is one question: what is better, being an entrepreneur or being an investor? I would definitely recommend both, because being an investor is something that can only come from money, and if you have a lot of money, I would be more than happy to advise you to invest. If you don't have a money, I would recommend become an entrepreneur, have that money, and then become an investor.
Well, you'll be very happy to know, Ojasv, that we have started an incubation and innovation council within the MIT. We are now going to aggressively promote entrepreneurs and entrepreneur skills. That suggestion of yours, thankfully, we have already started working on it. There is a very generic question, but it's a very valid question too. What is the secret of success? What is your secret of success?
Like I told in my presentation as well, the secret of success is not losing enthusiasm from while moving from one failure to another. There is no other secret. I mean, I can tell you that persistency is one thing that will beat everything. Talent won't stand in between persistency. Uh, Education won't stand between persistency. Even genius won't stand between persistency. If you're persistent towards something, no matter what your talent is, no matter what your education is, no matter what your genius is, you will succeed. And that is the only secret behind success. If you want, you can watch the movie called The Founder, that is behind the journey of McDonald's. He has a 1 minute 21 second speech which specifically talks about persistency. and the reason why he was successful. That is the reason behind my success, as well as every success that you see in the world.
On a lighter note, just just to crack a joke here, you mentioned Suits and The Founder, one of the two a web series and a movie which are favorite of mine. Which is the one you're currently watching?
I watched both of them,
No,
and
currently
honestly
what are you
speaking,
watching? Currently, what are you watching?
I'm not watching any series as of now, or TV show because or movie, because as of now I seriously don't get time to do that. But when I was in my college days, I used to watch Suits, and Founder is something that just came a while back. So
It's
I
an
watched
outstanding,
it because it was
outstanding
recommended
movie.
to me.
It's an outstanding movie.
Yeah,
So, very, very, heartfelt gratitude, and we thank you.
thank
You are amazing. It kind of gives me immense proud for the fact that you are one of the flag bearers of the legacy of MIT. Uh, the soft skills you talked about, the language, I compliment you on the amazing language skills that you have. It is outstanding and a breath of fresh air to see somebody so fluent in the language. Um, as a part of the MIT group, I will again thank you from the bottom of my heart. So taking out time for us, and we look forward
you
to
so
be engaged with you and take your guidance, and ask you to give guidance to your younger brothers and sisters who will be in MIT in future time in future. And please stay in touch and keep safe,
for
stay
sure.
healthy, and do tell us the list of movies you're watching next time.
For sure, for sure. And thank you so much, Ayush sir and Naveen sir, for providing me this opportunity. At the same time, I would give an open statement that if you guys want any sort of help towards starting your own entrepreneurship journey, I have just pinged my website link in the group chat. So please visit, and there are a lot of options to get in touch. Feel free to get in touch with us, and I'd be more than happy to help you.
Thank you, Ojas. And with your kind permission, I'm wrapping up the meeting. I
Thank
don't
you.
see any questions. Thank you. All the best. Ayush,
Yes, sir.
let's finish it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
on
Thanks a
behalf
lot
of
for joining.
MIT. Ojas, thank you for accepting the invitation in a short span of time and you conducted and the webinar was successful and you
Thank you
answered
so
all
much.
the questions as per the attendee asked. Thank you once
Thank you.
again from the team MIT for being the very first speaker in the Alumni Connect series part 1.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.